distinguished representative of Hungary. Please, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Madam Chair. You know, I'm representing a country which is a direct neighbor to Ukraine. So the war is going on in our direct neighborhood. So the impacts are severe and immediate on us. We in Hungary have been carrying out the largest humanitarian operation ever in the history of our country, meaning that more than 1 million refugees have already entered the territory of Hungary. And living next door to a war is pretty dangerous. That's why we Hungarians are super interested in peace to come as soon as possible. And may I, dear colleagues, list three imminent dangers which make it, I think, very clear that we need peace as soon as possible. The first one is that it has been only a little bit more than 2 weeks ago that rockets have hit Poland. And if the Polish leadership had not behaved in such a cool-headed and responsible way as they have, now we might be having the first developments of the Third World War on our agenda. But unfortunately, it was not everyone to behave in such a cool-headed and responsible way. So shame on all those politicians, and may I say even the journalists, who announced that there was an intended rocket attack against Poland without any kind of evidence. Because such kind of statements are very dangerous in such a situation when there's a real risk of escalation. So once again, tribute to Poland for such a responsible behavior. But we have to know that as long as the war is on, such kind of risks of escalation are out there on a daily basis. My second point is the harsh winter, which is about to come in Ukraine. A harsh winter is coming, and thousands of Ukrainian families have no access to electricity, no safe supply of electricity, no heating, no service of hot water. So I think winter is another very important argument why peace should be made as soon as possible. And third, what we consider very dangerous is the lack of communication between sides. We do believe, as a country in Central Europe, between East and West, with a very clear understanding and very clear consequences of history, that we do need channels and platforms for communication. Because if we give up the channels and the platforms for communication, it means that we give up the hope for peace. And this is something that we do not want to do. And believe me, we lived more than 4 decades under communist oppression. So we are very clearly remembering history. We hated the time of Cold War. But even during Cold War, last time communication between sides helped to avoid a next World War. So I think the channels of communication must be maintained. Otherwise the risks will increase rapidly. So all in all, Madam Chair, a message from the neighborhood, from next door to the war, is to make peace as soon as possible and keep up the communication channels. And last, I'd like to offer the condolences on behalf of the Hungarian government to the government of Belarus for the passing away of our former colleague, Vladimir Makej, who was a very good colleague and a friend of ours. May he rest in peace. Thank you.
Thank you. I now give the floor to the next